You're not behind. You're just distracted. You've been convinced you're running out of time. You've been tricked into believing that everyone else is ahead, that you're too late, that you missed your chance. But none of that is true. The problem isn't your timing. It's your focus. Because if we're being honest, you've been looking left and right instead of forward. You've been busy watching, not building, reacting, not creating, comparing, not growing. And the more you compare, the more convinced you become that you're falling behind. But here's the truth. You're not behind. You've just been distracted by a world that profits off your attention and steals your clarity. You were born with power, with vision, with something real inside you. But distraction buries it. It numbs it. It pulls you away from your path and hands you 1,000 others, none of which belong to you. You've forgotten how strong you are when you're locked in, how dangerous you become when you stop scrolling and start building. You've forgotten what you're capable of because you haven't given yourself the gift of sustained focus in a long, long time. And that's what's keeping you stuck. Not your past, not your resources, not your so-called mistakes, your attention. You're not behind. You've just been unavailable to your goals. You've been available to everyone else's opinions, available to distraction, available to doubt, available to fear, but not to your own greatness. And that ends now. You don't need to start over. You need to come home to your vision. You need to tune out the noise and return to the thing you said you wanted, the goal you buried under fear, the discipline you left behind when life got chaotic, the dream you stopped watering because it didn't grow fast enough. You haven't failed. You've just forgotten what matters. You've been giving your time to what's urgent, not what's important. You've been fighting fires instead of building your foundation. You've been staying busy instead of being intentional. But that stops today. Because you are not behind, and your future is still waiting for you to show up. You're not starting late. You're starting with more wisdom, more self-awareness, more pain, yes, but also more purpose. All you need is clarity. And clarity begins with elimination. Remove what's wasting your time. Remove what's stealing your joy. Remove what's distracting you from the mission. Success doesn't come to the person who does the most. It comes to the person who does what matters, over and over and over again. While the world is busy chasing everything, you chase the one thing. Let others be loud. You stay focused. Let others perform. You build. Let others flaunt results. You master process. Let them rush. You refine, because fast doesn't mean ahead, and still doesn't mean behind. Stillness is power. Focus is freedom. Consistency is king. You're not behind. You're just out of rhythm. And you can fix that right now with one decision, the decision to go all in. Not halfway, not when it's convenient. All in. If you give yourself 90 days of insane clarity, no distractions, no comparison, no doubt, you would be unrecognizable. If you truly locked in, everything would change. Not in theory. In practice. Because action doesn't lie, discipline doesn't lie, habits don't lie. They either build your future or they bury it. So here's the question. Are you going to keep telling yourself you're behind? Or are you going to admit you've been distracted and do something about it? The clock isn't your enemy. Your scattered mind is. Your excuses are. Your distractions are. You were never meant to follow their timeline. You were meant to walk your own path with intensity, with ownership, with silence, and with strength. Let them talk, you build. Let them compare, you focus. Let them think you're behind. You know better, because now you're locked in. Now you're focused. Now you're dangerous. And when that version of you shows up, no one can stop you.